It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
No, it is not Jack Ebling, but welcome to another Sunday night edition of Press Pass All-Stars with Jack Ebling. I am slightly more handsome than Jack. About
humble.
Humble, right? About 3 shades darker than Jack as well. You're probably wondering, who is this brother? Well, I am Al Martin, host of WKAR's Current Sports, and before moving forward, Jack is not here today because he is actually out in North Carolina. He is being honored by the National Sports Media Awards as Sportscaster of the Year for the state of Michigan. So before I move forward to introduce our 3-man panel here, I think we should all just give a round of applause for Jack Ebling. It's a pleasure working with him. He's one of the hardest working men in the business. And Jack, I hope you're having fun out there. I'll try not to ruin this show, okay? Proceeding now, the gentleman to my left, your right, we'll start with the far end of the desk. You guys know him very well. He is the producer of The Drive with Jack and Tom on the Team 92.1 FM, director of sports programming for Spotlight Radio Network, and Detroit Lions historian, Mr. Doug Warren. Doug, welcome to the show. How you doing, my man?
Great to have you here, Al. Maybe we got a Wally Pipp moment. It'll be the press pass with Al Martin next week.
Jack, I'm not trying to take your job, all right? I'm not trying to take your job. I'm just here for the week, all right? Next to Doug, he's a regular here on Press Pass. He is a sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal. My man, 50 grand. Graham Couch is in his house. Graham, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Is your seat higher than I feel like you look more prominent and you're looking down on us. We'll have to take care of that in the commercial break.
I'm not trying to, Graham, because normally, I mean, you know, you're definitely taller than me, but it doesn't look like that right now.
I also have the long torso. I'm like Larry Bird without the athleticism. So when I'm shorter than somebody, I notice it.
Yeah, you notice it. So I'm sorry, but you got to deal with this the rest of the show. Okay? We got a lot on the docket. Of course, we're going to talk about the NBA draft. I'm sure you guys have some thoughts on that. We saw 2 Spartans go in the NBA draft, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Going in the top 5. Miles Bridges, also a lottery pick, and he will actually be heading to not the team that we initially thought when he first got drafted due to a trade. And we also saw actually a Wolverine get picked. I was a bit surprised where Mo Wagner went in this draft. I didn't think that he would be a first-round pick, Graham.
Well, I actually like the fact that he's first round because I think he's a first round talent.
I think he is too.
And I think a lot of times the NBA execs, they overthink things, and I was glad to see them not do it in this case.
All right, we will certainly dive more into that topic and so much more. Don't touch that dial. When we come back, we will talk NBA draft. You are watching Press Pass All-Stars.
Every World Cup since '94, Mexico's lost at the same time. It's the curse of the 5th game. But curses are meant to be broken. And these guys are here to break stuff.
Soccer on Fox 47, sponsored locally by...
See World Cup Soccer on Fox 47. See our David Chapman Agency team for all your insurance goals. DavidChapmanAgency.com.
Go! Remember your first bike? No, your first real bike. So can you imagine the feeling you'll get from your first real truck? The GMC Sierra. GM employee program participants with an eligible GM lease can get this low mileage lease on the specially equipped 2018 GMC Sierra SLE for $199 per month.
Visit Glenn Bugie GMC in Lansing today.
This Tuesday only, everything in Volunteers of America thrift stores is half off. Don't miss this huge sale on thousands of items. Serving the community with 2 locations. Visit your local Volunteers of America thrift store.
Hit it. Fox Tuesday. It's the can't miss Beat Shazam of the season. Hit it! It's so crazy. One of these teams of music fans,
the cash is going in your bank,
is going home with $1 million.
Who gonna get that money?
Hit it! Beat Shazam, all new Tuesday on Fox.
Tim Allen's back and all new Last Man Standing, Fridays this fall on Fox.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Hey, trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you. Go green, go Graph.
With the 4th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Jaren Jackson Jr. from Michigan State University. With the 12th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the LA Clippers select Miles Bridges from Michigan State University.
So Miles Bridges, the latest great basketball player to come from Flint Town, as Tom Izzo has another Spartan selected tonight, the second Michigan State player that has been picked in the lottery. Bridges.
All right, well, there you see Jaren Jackson Jr. and Miles Bridges, 2 Spartans selected as lottery picks in this year's 2018 NBA Draft. Jaren Jackson Jr., a top 4 pick. He will head to the Memphis Grizzlies, while initially, guys, we saw the LA Clippers take Miles Bridges, but that pick was actually traded to the Charlotte Hornets. So now Bridges will be heading to Michael Jordan land out in Charlotte with the Hornets. Excited to see where both of these players go. I'll first start with you, Graham, when it comes to the fit for both of these players. Jaren Jackson Jr. out in Memphis, Miles Bridges now going to Charlotte. How well do these 2 players fit at those 2 respective organizations?
I love it for Jaren Jackson because he goes to a place, and this is where Deonte Davis is as well. And when Davis was there 2 years ago, Mark Gasol and that crew, Vince Carter was there then, but really took him under their wing, and he needed it. He was a young, immature guy in a lot of ways, but the way Gasol and Davis were really tight, and Gasol, I think he will do a similar thing, and that'll be a good place for a young big man like Jaren Jackson. With Miles Bridges, you know, I think for him, slipping a couple more, going down to Denver, like an ascending team, would have been great. And instead, in Charlotte, you know, you got a guy like Kemba Walker, who's good but not good enough. You're kind of stuck in no man's land as a franchise. You're a little off the radar. But he'll be a fan favorite there. It's not a roster where he's not going to get minutes. He'll be part of the rotation, I think, right away.
When you look at, you know, both of these players, Doug, I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. going one and done, leaving after his freshman campaign under the leadership of Tom Izzo, I thought it was the right pick. I mean, anytime you're a top 5 guy, you got to go, right? Miles decided to come for his sophomore campaign and then go. Was it the right move for Miles in hindsight now? And also, what do these 2 players have to do to reach their potential?
In regard to Miles, I think it was the right decision because when you look last year, you go back and see where he was projected to go in the draft. It was right around that same spot, that 15 to 20 mark, and instead he goes slightly higher than that, which was great for him. As far as what Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to do, I mean, he needs to learn how to defend without fouling. Now, having the 6th foul in the NBA will help him, but become a better defender without getting into foul trouble. I still want to see somebody develop a sky hook. Could somebody please bring the sky hook back? Yeah. I'd like to, you know, somebody like him would be great with that, but with Bridges, it's become more deadly off the dribble. That's the one thing that he didn't do enough of, I don't think, at Michigan State and the Big Ten, is attack the basket. If he develops that ability to attack off the dribble, that'll be great. And also, part of that comes with getting a killer instinct, which I don't think he had enough of at the college level.
That was a big knock on Bridges too, right? Yeah. I mean, in college, I mean, I don't know how many times I was watching Miles saying, dude, just take over the game. But I don't know if that's in his DNA. I don't know if that's his game.
Yeah, he showed some flashes of it even as late as Bucknell. Late in the season, you saw a few things a few times. I think for Miles, if he had come out earlier, sure, he may have gone at the same point a year earlier, but you would have been fooling NBA teams, right? What are his warts are his warts, and that's. I think he's a guy who can elevate well enough to get his shot off and create that way. He'll be a guy who can, be a fan favorite, a high riser on the break, and he's a guy who I think will be a good three-point shooter. He's going to be a third or fourth guy, I think, a really good role piece on good teams. Yeah. And for Jaren Jackson, what's going to get him on the floor is that shot blocking ability, that rim protection. Draymond Green used to say when he got to the NBA, the reason he played as a rookie, all the other skills you see now weren't really as refined, but he could rebound at a high NBA level. That got him on the floor. Jaren Jackson has that one skill, that rim protection skill that we valued, that'll get him in the rotation right away.
Very good points, and you guys have seen a few of the graphics we've been rolling in. I mean, this is now the 5th time that Tom Izzo has had 2 players picked in round 1. You see, MSU first-round picks from 2000 up until, of course, 2017 with, Denzel Valentine, Adrian Payne, Gary Harris, Shannon Brown. What does it mean? Question for both of you guys. What does it mean that Jackson and Bridges went higher than any pair of Spartans since Magic Johnson and Greg Kelser, who did so back in 1979? Doug or Grant?
Well, no, I think it's good for the program anytime you're that visible going high, right? Because recruiting now is about getting to the NBA. Yeah. And it says, just a few years after Tom Izzo, there was questions about what kind of talent he could bring into the program. He bringing in some pretty good talent. Not only did he lose these 2 guys very high in the draft, but the cupboard's not bare.
Yeah, no question. And these guys were touted when they came into Michigan State. For them to get drafted that high says a lot about Michigan State's recruiting at the prep level as well.
Yes, it certainly does. All right, stick with us because on the other side of this break, we'll be talking about Mo Wagner going as a first-round pick. We'll be right back.
At Graf's, we're kicking off summer right, and we're cooking up some hot car deals, too.
Order for another hot car deal, Dad.
You got it.
Get into a 2018 Equinox for only $136 per month.
That's a hot one. And Graf will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade.
Or Graf will make up to 6 payments for you with Graf Lease Pull Ahead.
Looks like we need another hot deal.
Drive off a Silverado double cab for just $140 a month.
Hey, I want to try this. Hot deals coming up. Oops, Chris, it's all in the wrist.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching,
and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Remember when she was afraid to start writing? You said, don't be scared. Begin where you are. And look at her now. Isn't it time you take your own advice? Isn't it time she sees you take your own advice? Show her what's possible. So, Central Michigan University. A degree, a community, a next step. Make the call. And begin where you are.
Get it while it's hot. Ow! An all-new MasterChef, Wednesday on Fox.
Today, I'm outside of Checkers and Rallies because they got a brand new steak burger. That thing looks phenomenal. Let's get in there. Whoa! There's so many little flavors popping in here. That's a sliced mushroom, dipped in batter, and then fried. This burger's a journey to flavor. The new crispy mushroom or Philly cheesesteak burger, just $1.99. Checkers and Rallies, fast foodies know the deal.
Last Man Standing presents The World According to Mike Baxter.
What happened to men? Men used to build cities just so we could burn them down.
Masculinity.
The only time men should be dancing is when other men are shooting at their feet.
Marriage.
Passion in a relationship is never a good thing.
Competition.
If you're not hurting somebody's feelings, you're losing.
Tim Allen is The Last Man Standing.
College is important. Without college, there would be no college football.
Last Man moves to weeknights at 6:30 starting Monday.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the Lakers, boy.
Hey, I think a Spartan just picked the Wolverines. What's up with that?
Come on, man.
Hey,
come on, man.
Bring it. Bring it, man.
What you think? What you think?
Man, I'm speechless, man. I'm shivering.
All right,
I'm so excited.
just be ready, boy.
I can't wait.
Just be ready, boy. Magic Johnson giving a call to Mo Wagner, the really stud for the Michigan men's basketball program last season, a program that, of course, got all the way to the big dance, fell just short against Villanova, but Mo Wagner really became a face of March Madness that really dated back to the Big Ten tournament this year. I love Mo Wagner. I love that snippet there. You know, I love the comment. You know, did you ever see a Spartan drafting a Wolverine? Mo Wagner, I think, is going to be a good player in the league. I think he's got the size, he's got the work ethic, but he's just a dynamic player. He can take it inside out. What did you guys think? Were you surprised at all that Mo Wagner was taken in the first round of the NBA draft? I'll start with Graham.
Well, no, I knew he was going to be on that bubble, and I'm glad the NBA did it, because you see too often, you see the obsession with length, and the NBA has gotten away from this a little bit, and potential, and sometimes the proven guy, you know, don't overthink it. And here's a guy in the modern NBA, you talk about a big who can shoot, who can put the ball on the floor a little bit. I think he'll be okay defending his position. We'll find that out, and he's a natural competitor. I think he's a guy who's a slam dunk 10-year NBA player. The question is, what is his ceiling? And that's what you don't know. But that late in the draft, I think you got definitely a rotation piece who contributes for a long time.
Were you shocked he went so high, Doug?
I was not. I thought he was a first-round talent, like you said, Graham. And I thought that, you know, the NBA, if they keep their sense about him, that they would take a guy like that in the first round because of what he's done. You saw him in the tournament, and he's like the stretch three. He's like the prototype now, right, of the guys who can stretch the floor and play multiple positions, take them off the dribble. We saw what he did last year against Nick Ward here at the Breslin Center, broke his ankles basically. But I thought it was great. And the other thing about him, you know, he's a team guy. He's got a great personality. I think for him to go to the Lakers, he's going to fit into that system. He's going to fit into that town. And the sky's the limit for him as far as not only on the court, but I think off the court with endorsements and that LA scene, provided that, you know, he just lets his personality come out and his play as well.
You know, guys, I couldn't help but think when I was watching the NBA draft on Thursday night, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, we all know, we've seen draft bust, we've seen draft darlings, right? You know, I'm still hurting myself about the whole Donovan Mitchell situation with the Pistons last year. I mean, heck, this year, I mean, they could have had a guy like Michael Porter Jr. You know, they possibly could have had Miles Bridges. But my point is, when it comes to the draft, you just never know who's going to become a star. And I couldn't help but think about the free agency as well. The free agency period that's going to hit this summer, the LeBron sweepstakes. I want to ask this question to both of you all. Has NBA free agency become more important than the NBA draft?
Oh, I think so in a lot of ways. Well, it's more, it sustains itself over the summer more. There's more discussion about it longer. Yeah. And certainly they're more ready to go marquee players in the market, because you're going to get 5 or 6 guys at every draft that really impact the league, and only a couple that impact the league the next year. You forget about a lot of these guys a few years down the road. And so, yeah, no, I think free agency is, and it has been for a long time. This goes back to Allen Houston, Dikembe Mutombo, 96, Shaquille O'Neal, kind of the first year where all of a sudden, it's been, I think, 22 years now where that is sort of the case. There are individual drafts, 2003, for example, that overtake it a little bit, but most years it's free agency.
Can you just build a team nowadays in today's NBA, Doug, just through the NBA draft? I feel like you have to have success in the NBA free agency.
You got to be able to draw free agents, I think, especially if, as we've seen dating back to really the Bulls. If you get a big three, now 2 of those guys with the Bulls were, you know, draft picks with Jordan and Pippen, but they brought in that third guy, Rodman, and they won, you know, the 6 championships. So you got to have a big three. You know, how you get them is just depends on the situation.
The counter to that is that, you know, the Golden State Warriors, before they added Durant, are all homegrown, right? Those 3 main guys were homegrown.
That's exception rather than
rule.
but
Oklahoma, but if Oklahoma City doesn't get rid of James Harden, they have a big 3 that is homegrown. So it can be done. You have to draft really, really well. So it's hard to do.
Okay. All right. On the other side of the break, we'll talk about Dwayne Casey being named as the new head coach for the Detroit Pistons. We'll be right back.
Get the best barbecue at Chuck E. D's in St. John's. They feature barbecue ribs, pork, chicken, beef brisket, and their most popular mouth-watering nachos. Chuck E. D's can cater your next event. Chuck E. D's Barbecue by the VFW in St. John's. Enjoy great lunch of smoked perfection.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a lawn that mows itself? Yeah, me neither. But the Husqvarna Automower will mow the lawn for you, rain or shine. The Husqvarna Automower charges automatically. It's silent, safe, there's virtually no maintenance, and your lawn will look like carpet. Here at Midwest Power Equipment, we are your one-stop shop for installation, service, and information. You might be thinking the Husqvarna Automower sounds too good to be true. It's not. So come into Midwest Power Equipment today.
Joe and Megan Johnson are former college athletes turned entrepreneurs. They invented dissolvable protein scoops and started Bade Nutrition together in hopes to make people's lives easier with their innovative, convenient product. Include the code FOX47 and receive an additional 25% off.
The 4 Battle for Stardom, Thursdays on Fox.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Larry? Sorry, Larry's on the road again, but you can always find him at larrysrvservice.com. Take virtual tours, apply for financing, even schedule mobile service online. Let Larry find a great deal for you at Larry's RV in Jackson. Larry, are you out there?
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
The most important thing, I think, is the talent level that you have with Blake, Andre, and also with Reggie to start with. Those three are, veteran, more or less veteran players. And then the next level of guys, you're talking about Luke Kennard, you're talking about Stanley Johnson, who I've always admired from afar, and then also Henry Ellenson. 3 very talented young players. And I put Andre in that group, too, as being young. He's 24 years old. Just an untapped, wealth of talent still there. And that's going to be on us and the coaching, myself and the coaching staff to really draw as much out of it as we can.
There you see new Detroit Pistons head coach Dwayne Casey during his introductory press conference this week, addressing how he feels as though the Pistons are in a win-now mentality. And I like the thought, guys. And I tell you what, the NBA cracks me up because the NBA, the only league in America where an NBA coach of the year, can be fired. I like the hire. I think that Dwayne Casey is the right move here. I mean, we all know about the rumors with John Beilein too. I really think that could have became a real thing. What did you guys think of what Dwayne Casey had to say this week? He's all in on winning now and talks about their big 3 in Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson, and Blake Griffin. Graham?
Well, you have to be all in on winning now if you're him, and in part because of the way the roster is constructed and the financial flexibility you don't have, right? If you say we're tanking, well, what are you doing with this group? And when you have a Blake Griffin and you're hoping Reggie Jackson can stay healthy and give you something. I don't like Reggie Jackson's game that much. I don't think you can win big with him. I think he's that guy in a pickup game. You always wonder, what's he looking at? Does he see me when I need the ball in that instant that I'm open? I don't think he sees the floor well enough to be a point guard in the NBA, a frontline main point guard. But I like the hire. I think he brings hope. He didn't bring his whole staff, but it's a really good staff. He talks about development, and there are some pieces there to develop, and they're going to have to develop within a lot more because they didn't bring a lot. There's not a lot to add, I should say.
He's going to be a miracle worker if he can get this roster to gel together and compete.
Yeah.
And I know I don't like the Griffith trade. You don't like it so much, Al. I think we were talking about it. Graham, you do like it. I think he's the one guy that's a star. Andre Drummond, I mean, he is what he is, but did they pay him too much money? I think most people would say yes.
You can't play through Drummond, and you can play through Griffin, and that's what I love about I mean, you got to have a guy. He's a guy who I think sees the floor. He's a cerebral player, and yes, he's injury prone, but you got to have that one guy, and that's what Blake gives you. And Luke Kennard, I still think has a decent ceiling. We'll see what it becomes. You know, Henry Ellenson, as he brings up, I think, boy, this is a big summer league for him, right? He's got to start to show, because every once in a while he looks decent, but it's not consistent.
The thing for me, and as you just noted, Doug, I mean, Graham, you like it. You like the Blake Griffin move. I didn't like it from the standpoint, I mean, again, you can't rely on Blake Griffin's health, but the money, don't get me wrong, Blake Griffin's definitely a star. I mean, people tune in to see him. He's freakishly athletic. I've been enjoying him since he was a rookie in the dunk contest, right? But the thing with Blake is, you know, that contract just hinders. I think it hinders the Pistons. If they wanted to make any kind of moves, they can't because of that contract.
Who are you going to get that's better than him? You know, it's going to cost you that kind of money anyway. It's hard to get free agents to Detroit. If you're going to tank, it's not going to be with Andre Drummond. It's not going to be with Reggie Jackson. It's going to be, you got to wait those contracts out anyway. And so to me, while you have those guys, and his contract, if he can stay healthy, and keep in mind this whole thing is going to be the prime of his career, like 28 to 32. Late in that contract, if those other guys are expiring, if they want to try and rebuild and tank or do whatever they want to do to get to the front of the draft, do the Philadelphia process, that won't be an immovable contract with the final 2 years. It is for a little while.
Also want to let our viewers know that I saw a video of Andre Drummond. Have you guys seen this video of Andre Drummond shooting threes? What is he doing, Graham? The shot looks decent, though. I think it's a true testament to how the game has changed now. Gone is the true big who can just go in the paint and just bully you down low. If you want to be a big in today's NBA, Graham, I think you have to start shooting the jumper now. I think Drummond's realizing that. But Andre Drummond shooting threes, I don't know how that's going to work out.
How many times have we seen Tum Tum drill threes at Moneyball in the summer? Yeah. All these guys, you know, like, I'll wait till I see it in an NBA game.
We'll wait until he takes one and makes one,
I don't think that's ever going to change. I mean, if he thinks it's going to change, I mean, is he making free throws yet?
That was also in the video, too.
Yeah, he solved that. So, I don't know, maybe he can hit threes now, too. We'll have to wait and see.
Real quick, Doug, where do you start? If you're Dwayne Casey, if you're in Dwayne Casey's position, just briefly put your feet in his shoes. I mean, how do you get the Pistons, from where they are right now to where fans want them to be?
They got to compete. He's got to get these guys to all move in the right direction. Now, can he do that? Talk about being coach of the year with Toronto. If he gets this team moving in the right direction to get them into a playoff berth, I mean, he's coach of the year again. Again, Reggie Jackson, is that a guy that you can deal? Are they going to have to deal him? And then will they find somebody to take him to try to maybe make him move next season as the playoffs approach? I don't know. There's too many questions right now for me to see that team being competitive going forward for next year.
They've got to become interesting, and that they're not getting people down there. They're not interesting. There's got to be some hope, and I think they've got to have an energy to them. They've got to play hard. They've got to be a little exciting. If they can get there, even if they're just a mid-40s win team, has a chance at the second round, I think people will pay attention.
Yeah, too many empty seats right now at LCA. All right, on the other side of this break, we'll talk World Cup. Do you got World Cup fever? You're watching Press Pass. We'll be right back.
At Graf's, we're kicking off summer right, and we're cooking on some hot car deals, too.
Order for another hot car deal, Dad.
You got it.
Get into a 2018 Equinox for only $136 per month.
That's a hot one. And Graf will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade.
Or Graf will make up to 6 payments for you with Graf Lease Pull Ahead.
Looks like we need another hot deal.
Drive off a Silverado double cab for just $140 a month.
Hey, I want to try this. Hot deals coming up. Oops, Chris, it's all in the wrist.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 17th on Fox.
When you streamline, there's no compromises. Streamline in
I'm Hardy with Streamline Enterprises. Because we've been in business for 19 years, 50% of our work comes from repeat customers or referrals, like this job we're doing here today in East Lansing. No compromises with Streamline Enterprises.
Working hard and making things, it's what we do in Michigan. My first job was in a lumber yard. I'm Gretchen Whitmer. In the state Senate, I fought for working families, to increase the minimum wage, and to expand Medicaid to over 600,000 more Michiganders. But there's still more work to do, like invest in skills training and repeal the retirement tax so that hardworking people earn more and keep more of what they earn. Let's get it done.
Time for the big picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride. All right, now we dive into World Cup fever. And I have to admit, guys, I mean, Graham you are like die-hard soccer. I haven't watched a full match yet. I've been following it. Of course, we've been talking about it over at WKAR, but I've yet to sit down and watch a full match. I feel like my fandom 4 years ago was a lot bigger because, of course, the United States was playing. Now that the US of A isn't in it, I'm kind of like, you know, all right. But convince me, if somebody's watching out there like is like me and has not watched a game yet or a match yet, how do you convince them to watch the World Cup this year?
Well, it is just the most beautiful sport. If you like the Warriors playing basketball, this is the closest thing to that, right? It's the movement without the ball. The sport is just, it's a beautiful thing. I don't think the country could have withstood it 8 years ago, maybe, even, and had much buzz and excitement. But I think we are a soccer society enough. We're excited about the beginning of the Premier League. There are lots of things that it works now. Yeah, it would have been great if there were U.S. games, especially in this group stage, and we were able to get it together at bars and do that stuff. But when you can wake up at 8, watch it 11 and 2, and get 3 games in a day. Like I hated the Brazil World Cup because the time zone wasn't different enough. They were prime time games. I want my morning engulfed with this stuff. I get very little work done these days. My bosses will attest to it.
And you're kind of the opposite, Doug. We were just chatting before we got back from that break about, you know, if you've watched a match yet, a full match yet. I don't think you have.
I have not.
What's it going to take for America to really go goo-goo gaga over soccer?
People like me, 50 years old, to pass away, I think. I don't know. 2026, I think I remember 1994, the World Cup, and there was a little bit of interest because it was still kind of a novelty. But I think in 2026 there'll be more interest. And I enjoy watching the highlights, and I enjoy being I think I'd enjoy being at a game. Mm-hmm. And the other day we were on remote for the radio show, and we were in a local establishment, and there were Croatia fans there. And it was fun to watch them and kind of got into it that way because of how they'd erupt when.
I think America's there. I really do. If
you
look at MLS markets and you look at all these smaller teams, you look at the fandom for English Premier League soccer that goes on in this country, I think we are on an ascension in terms of.
I think it's an ascension, but
it's an ascension, but we're
not there yet, are we?
No, but we're able to enjoy this. I think this has been a really interesting World Cup, and you know the next one in Qatar can be played between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't know how that's going to work with the NFL and college football and all that stuff because of how hot it is, and so that'll be another test for this. But I think people do get into it, and the U.S. would have been better. But look, I mean, there's great drama and there's great passion, and I think if you enjoy sports, this is better than the dog days of baseball, at least.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about the last 7 days, I mean, I've been watching a few highlights here and there. There's so much emotion. I don't think you can compare soccer fans to any other fans on the planet. There's so much passion in every fan base. What have we learned the past 7 days as well, Graham?
Well, I think what we have learned is that the U.S. will watch this sport and it will take. I mean, the ratings have been okay. You know, the drama does not, because you think about it, it was really only 3 games, maybe 4 games, a World Cup anyway, and we'd be all in. And yeah, we pay attention in part because the World Cup would bring us in, and that was important, or the U.S. team would bring us in. But we have learned that that nobody is untouchable in terms of getting knocked out. Like Argentina, Tuesday at 2 o'clock plays Nigeria, and Messi is one of the best couple players in the world. If they don't win that game, they're done. They're going home. Germany came very, very close to not getting into the next round. Needed a great set piece in the 95th minute. And you're seeing some old powers with new players. England's been really interesting. I think Belgium may be the best team in this World Cup, or most interesting team I've seen in terms of, at least offensively. There are a lot, and they play England on Thursday at 2. So if you're looking for like early days to drink and leave work, I'm telling you right now, Tuesday, 2 o'clock, Argentina versus Nigeria. A lot of passion, a lot of interest. England, Belgium, 2 o'clock Thursday. This is the third round of the group stage, third game. That game, both teams have already advanced, so there won't be as much on the line.
Right.
And then the following week, we get into the knockout rounds, and I mean, it's great stuff.
Well, I remember 4 years ago, you know, when the U.S. was in it, you know, I remember I took a walk downtown East Lansing, and just to see what the craze was, what level it was on, I should say. And I remember walking downtown East Lansing, and just about every bar, every establishment, absolutely.
And the U.S. isn't even good soccer, like comparatively. Right. They don't play a style that's that appealing. Like, if you can put up with watching James Harden or Russell Westbrook, who dribble and shoot and don't see the floor.
But it's a different sport, though. I mean, basketball is, you know,
but I'm saying what draws you to basketball, right, constantly moving. This is soccer.
And scoring, constantly scoring as well,
It's the moving without the ball, though. They call it the beautiful game for a reason. It is. You do have to get over the dearth of scoring, right? But there are no commercial breaks. It fits within 2 hours. There are a lot of reasons it's going to work long term in this country. And I also think years and years from now, if CTE becomes a big concern in the NFL, there's going to be a point where this will be in place to take its place in another generation.
That's certainly something that, you know, if American football becomes obsolete because of the injury factor, I think soccer does have a chance to even climb farther up the ladder of popularity.
All right, when we come back, we will talk about how the Detroit Tigers fared against the Cleveland Indians over the weekend.
I'm here at Checkers and Rallies. They just dropped a new peach mango island slushie. Ooh! I could taste the peach. I could taste the mango. Oh my God, the brain freeze. Ah! Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
Furniture Row is looking a little different these days. We've replaced former brand signs with bright new category signs to make it easy for you to find exactly what you're looking for. Our expanded selections deliver even more of the great style and value you've come to expect from Furniture Row. And you'll still find Denver Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer. So come visit today's Furniture Row. Now more than ever, the destination for creating the home you love for less. Family owned and operated for over 45 years.
I'm outside of Checkers and Rallies. They got a brand new steak burger. Let's get in there. Whoa! The new crispy mushroom or Philly cheesesteak burger, just $1.99. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
All right, we now move to Law of the Jungle, brought to you by Retirement Protection Services and longtime area financial advisor Jack Vogler. Earn interest based on stock market performance with zero exposure to market downturns. Give Jack a call at 339 339-4777. That's 339-4777. Jack's glad he did.
This ball driven into left center field. 2 balls over. And tagging and scoring from third is Jones. Afternoon. Straight up in the air. Just going to do it. Nice job by Floro. And that's the old ball game. Well, naturally, Rysel Iglesias will start to get loose in the Reds bullpen. That ball was caught by the shortstop Iglesias. Weak roller down to third. Suarez finds a handle, throws in time, and that's the old ball game. Reds sweep the Tigers.
Days where he walks in there and his arm's probably not feeling great at all. But he is going to work a 1-2-3 ninth inning for his 16th save of the year.
And there you have some lowlights of a 5-game losing streak for the Detroit Tigers. They love you not, right? Doug, the Detroit Tigers, they entered the week here with a 5-game win streak. And, you know, we're within a game of 500 at one point. A lot of fans out there were feeling really, really good. No one thought, though, that this team would even be in that kind of position. So I want to start on a positive note here. What has happened with the Detroit Tigers to even be in some kind of contention in the horrible AL Central?
Well, they have a manager for one thing. I mean, the Brad Ausmus era is over. Ron Gardenhire is a guy who has made chicken salad out of chicken manure basically his entire career. He did it a long time in Minnesota. He's doing it right now in Detroit. The problem with the Tigers is they just don't have enough talent right now. And as we've seen, they're just up and down. 5-game win streak, now a 5-game losing streak. They go to Ohio and just get swept by both teams. A brutal Reds team and then a team that's given them problems for years with the Indians, who they were outscored by 26-3 over the weekend. Tigers are outscored 40-11 in the last 5 games. It's just...
Yeah.
You
can't win that way.
No, you're not winning anything doing that.
Right. Graham, when you look at this team, you know, we thought the AL Central was Cleveland's division to lose. Do you still think the Tigers have a 10-game losing streak in their pocket this season at some point? Or will they continue to be up and down like a roller coaster, which is what we've seen this year?
No, I do. And I don't think they've been up and down in this sense. That they have had at one point, and it's been a little while now, they had by far the weakest schedule. And it was the 30th ranked strength of schedule. It's moved up a little. I think it's in the mid-20s now. But there is a stretch coming up in mid-July and then one in August where, they really hit some really good teams consecutively, where you're playing 12 out of 15 games against upper-tier teams, Cubs, Astros, that sort of thing, hitting the Indians again. And so I think we're going to see their true colors a little bit. I do think look, you can only play the people in front of you, and they've proven that there are a lot of bad teams in that division, and they've been more competitive and they've fought. Now it's good to see. It's a good culture to begin. They don't have the pieces, they don't have the talent, and when you play better teams, I think we're going to see that.
Yeah, and at least Gardenhire has them competing, and they look like a baseball team. They're not out to lunch, and they're clearly the players in the clubhouse respect the manager now, which was something that simply never happened under Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, it almost makes you wonder. I mean, if you would have given the keys to the car to Ron Gardenhire maybe 3 years ago instead of Brad Ausmus, right? What could have been with the Detroit Tigers?
Yeah.
Is that safe to say? I think he's a great manager. I just felt when looking at Brad Ausmus at times, you just didn't get the feeling that Brad Ausmus had a firm 2 hands on the wheel. I get that feeling anytime I see and hear Ron Gardenhire speak. Has this year at all, again, we're only sitting 36 and 42 into the season right now.
Thank God for the World Cup, huh?
Yeah, thank God for the World Cup, right, Graham? Still a lot of baseball left to be played, but based on what you've seen so far from the Tigers, have your expectations changed at all for this team, Graham?
No, I think they're overachieving right now. Now, they got some young pieces on the team right now, and they've got a lot of guys who I think we're going to see that later this year or next year start to come. And that's kind of the group, right, the next wave. And then we'll be able to start making some judgments. But I think right now they're just because they still have some holdovers who are, pros who can compete, and even on the pitching staff. And but I don't think expectations have changed. But I think my thought of where the floor might be has changed. I don't think this team is ever going to be insanely awful.
I thought they'd lose 105 games before the season started. They're better than that right now. Mm-hmm. Now, will that continue? And again, the other thing is some of the veterans that they have who are maybe tradable, like Castellanos or even like an Iglesias, will they move those guys to continue the rebuild? And what will that do toward the end of the season when the schedule does get tougher if those moves are made.
And if you take Castellanos' bat out of that lineup, all of a sudden, I think a lot of confidence goes with it elsewhere, and they'll start to lose. And that's a guy who's young enough. Do you want to have that guy as a staple and eventually your first baseman, or do you want to keep trying? If I were them, I would try to bring pieces. I know he's a wonderful bat, but he's limited in the field, and I think there are a lot of pieces to get for him.
Certainly. All right, great take on the Detroit Tigers. Let's hit the next break. When we come back, we will have our Take It to the Bank segment where we dive into our predictions for the upcoming week in the world of sports and beyond. You are watching Press Pass All-Stars.
Get the best barbecue at Chuck E. D's in St. John's. They feature barbecue ribs, pork, chicken, beef brisket, and their most popular mouth-watering nachos. Chuck E. D's can cater your next event. Chuck E. D's Barbecue by the VFW in St. John's. Enjoy a great lunch of smoked perfection.
This Tuesday only, everything in Volunteers of America thrift stores is half off. Don't miss this huge sale on thousands of items. Serving the community with 2 locations. Visit your local Volunteers of America thrift store.
Let your pets take a vacation in the lap of luxury. When they stay with Wagon Tail's Pet Resort, they become family. We believe that pet owners should never feel guilty about leaving their pet while on vacation or away for the day. Come check us out and see what we're all about.
Stay furry, my friends.
Join the Yes Club and be the first to hear about great giveaways like this. Fox 47 is giving away a 4-pack of VIP tickets to Country Night at Common Ground, featuring Kip Moore and Hunter Hayes on Thursday, July 5th at Adado Riverfront Park. Go to fox47news.com/YesClub for more information. Watch World Cup Soccer now through July 15th.
At Graf's, we're kicking off summer right, and we're cooking up some hot car deals, too.
Order for another hot car deal, Dad.
You got it.
Get into a 2018 Equinox for only $136 per month.
That's a hot one. And Graf will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade.
Or Graf will make up to 6 payments for you with Graf Lease Pull Ahead.
Looks like we need another hot deal.
Drive off a Silverado double cab for just $140 a month.
Hey, I want to try this. Hot deals coming up. Oops, Chris, it's all in the wrist.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
To all lovers of cheese, A&W has something for you. Cheese curds. Gooey, delicious, 100% Wisconsin white cheddar cheese. Golden fried to perfection. For a snack, for a side, for the love of cheese. Only at your local A&W.
All right, it's now time for Take It to the Bank, brought to you by Dark Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Hope/South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dark Bank for what matters most. All right, time for this week's locks and guarantees. I'll start with Doug Warren. Doug, what can we take to the bank this week?
Well, we can take to the bank that Matt Patricia will get the Lions to the playoffs as a wild card team this year. I don't think there's any question about that. Now, they're not going to be as good as Minnesota.
There's no question about it. There's lots of
There's no question about it.
Okay.
Listen to the man,
Grant. Yeah, but they're not good enough to beat Minnesota. But I think the pieces are in place for them to be 9-7 and get to the playoffs. I think they're better than Green Bay. I think they're better than obviously the Chicago Bears, and I think they're going to be moving in the right direction. They have the best player, one of the best players in the league in Matt Stafford, so that's a key. And if they're healthy, I think they'll be a wild card team.
You know, there was a lot of controversy this week. I don't know if you guys are video game fans, but Madden, the video game, rated Matthew Stafford lower than Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck was injured all year. So that was the big craze from Lions fans. They were very upset about that. A lot of gamers out there upset about that. All right, Graham, what can we take to the bank this week?
Nigeria will beat Argentina on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and Nigeria will not go on. So one of the 2 World Cup finalists, Germany barely survived. Argentina will be, one of the World Cup finalists from last time will be gone. They haven't defended anybody well. Nigeria with their counterattack and the way they're playing, I think will beat them. Messi has got a different lineup he wants in the coaching staff. There are all sorts of dissent going on within that program. So, you know, for those of you who really care, Nigeria over Argentina, take it to the bank Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And for those of you who really care, Nigeria is +1 on the line, on the betting line. So just letting you know.
So I think a lot of our listeners and viewers out there are probably wondering, Graham, how in the heck are you watching all these games? 2 o'clock is like in the middle of the day. So are you like playing hooky a little bit?
I work from home, so you know.
Oh, that's perfect, man.
Yeah, you know. And
we got to watch. That's what we do as a living. So
how many columns have you really seen from me in the last few weeks?
That's very true. All right, I got one. My take it to the bank for this week would have to be Luka Doncic. I've been watching a lot of film on this international star. He was taken to the Dallas Mavericks. They had the Trae Young trade with the Dallas Mavericks and the Atlanta Hawks. I really think that Luka Doncic has the ability and skill to be a special player. And I don't say that a lot with international players. I think this year in the NBA draft, it was a down year when it comes to international flavor. Luka Doncic, though, I mean, this is a guy who's been a pro since he was like 15 years old. He can guard. I think he could be better. If there's any weak spot in his game, it's his defense. He's a decent defender, could be better there, but he's a bona fide scorer, though.
And I love when you start to see these backcourts, like a Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic. Like, I love the idea of putting together a backcourt like that in the Mavericks. Again, this is, you look at that, and as somebody who follows the Pistons, you become envious. Like, that is a great young backcourt that, even if they're not good next year, will be fun to watch.
Yeah. And also, I'll give props to the NBA draft as well. I thought that, they had the introductions this year. That was a bit different. I was a fan of that, though. And, the style that these players bring at the NBA draft. I mean, we saw Jaren Jackson Jr. rocking the velvet pink. Was it pink or peach?
I think salmon, I think.
Salmon, yeah.
The leather coat, too?
Right.
Do you think I could pull that up?
You can pull the salmon jacket off.
Salmon jacket?
Yeah, you can pull it. I think you can pull the salmon jacket off.
Velvet anyway.
Depends on the color. It gets too red, I start looking like a tomato. It's something from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or something. I don't need...
We don't want that. Miles kept it simple and presidential, with the navy blue.
It was a
nice suit. Jaren a little bit more flashy with the velvet suit jacket. So props to the NBA draft, though. I thought they did it right this year. All right, when we come back, we will finish out the show with our cool and smooth segment as we bring to you our player and team and play of the week. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Working with the IDE company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the IDE company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the IDE Company family.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Jamie Foxx hosts the hit music game show Beat Shazam, all new Tuesdays on Fox.
Books, books, books. The Bookshelf, a live hometown bookstore for real people. Saturday, June 30th and Sunday, July 1st, we celebrate our amazing half-off sale. Stop in for a huge selection of paperbacks, bestsellers, hardcovers, all half off. June 30th and July 1st, 2 days only at the Bookshelf in Holt.
Beautiful flooring that can stand up to almost anything. Our summer flooring sale. Save up to $500 on all of our Downs products, like Downs H2O that's 100% waterproof.
Carpet Studio Flooring America, across from Okemos High School.
All right, it's time for our Cool and Smooth segment brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. All right, Team 248 will close out things with our weekly awards, and we'll start with Graham Couch here. Graham, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Can you please start us off with our play of the week?
The play of the week, to me, is Toni Kroos from Germany. Set piece, free kick, gets it back and puts it right into the back of that to save Germany against Sweden. 94th, 95th minute. I mean, they were really in danger of not moving on to the knockout stage. And he had a turnover. This is a great midfielder from Real Madrid that had led to Sweden's first half goal. Really saved them with just an unbelievable poised shot, and did the old bend it like Beckham back in the far net in the final minute. It was one of those moments, and just you get out of your chair for it. And if you guys watch soccer, you'd know all about it.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't see that game, but I heard about it on the radio today, and everybody was talking about how sweet that goal was. All right, good stuff. Thank you, Graham. Doug, what about our game of the week?
The game of the week was the game of Bubba Watson this weekend in the Travelers Championship. He fired a 7-under 63 to erase a 6-shot deficit on the final day today to win his 3rd Travelers Championship. He birdied 6 of the final 10 holes, and it's his 3rd win of the season, so a great win for Bubba Watson today.
Fantastic. Bubba was in a zone for sure, and since we have a 3-man team here, Graham is actually on double duty. Graham, will go right back to you when it comes to our team of the week.
Mexico.
Of course he's going World Cup, right?
But this is what's going on. There's nothing more relevant than that. The NBA playoffs are over. If you pick baseball right now, you just don't.
I get it, yeah, for sure.
So, Mexico, which beats Argentina, right? Beats Germany, with an amazing, the counterattacks. It wasn't just that they beat Germany, because Germany held a lot of possession, but they looked better in quick spaces. You talk about the beautiful game, and you talk about loving passes and the way the Warriors and Steph Curry, the way Mexico looked when they had the ball, and that game was amazing. Then they beat South Korea to advance. They're going to the knockout stage with 6 points already guaranteed, so they still got one more game. But that is, I think, for people around here, a lot of people, how you feel about rooting for your neighbor to the south when you're not in it, I don't know. But I enjoy watching Mexico play. I enjoy watching the way they play. And traditionally, they have folded after having a great upset. And the way they bounced back right away in their second match, I thought was incredible. Fun team to watch. Enough talent to make things interesting no matter who they're playing.
Graham, I think you have convinced many of our audience out there to at least watch one World Cup game.
They're already on. It's you guys who aren't watching.
So we're late to the party?
You're the only two.
All right,
we'll see. I'm going to check out some matches. Let's check out some matches, Doug. All right. Yep. Okay, for me, I have player of the week, and I got to go with Clarissa Shields. She had a fight on Friday night against Costa Rica's Hannah Gabriels, who is a bona fide champ. This was the biggest test of Clarissa Shields' career so far. And again, she's only 6 fights into her professional career. Gabriels knocks her down in the first round, and Clarissa Shields went on to dominate the rest of the fight. We are truly seeing something special with Flint Town's own, Flint's favorite daughter, Clarissa Shields. I really think she has the potential to be the greatest female boxer of all time. I don't know how big you guys are into boxing, but, and again, I'm not big I'm not a die-hard boxing fan like I used to be, but big names like a Clarissa Shields, they draw a lot of attention. And this was also downtown Detroit at Detroit's Masonic Temple on Showtime. Clarissa Shields headlining 10 fights. That's special to do as a female boxer.
No doubt. I get into 2 things, either local connection boxing or really big fights. I love really big fights, pay-per-view things. But Amanda Bobby Cooper in UFC, a local girl, we'll love watching her fight. And those sort of things, I think there's a sense of pride in anything when you relate to somebody in Michigan.
Right. So true. All right, Jack, it was fun. It was fun holding down your seat, all right? You'll be back at it, I'm sure, next week. Much thanks to Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal sports columnist, Doug Warren, fantastic producer for the Team 92.1 FM. Have a great week, and be easy, people.
Celebrate the holiday with savings at Furniture Row. Every dining table, every bed and bunk bed, and all sofas are on sale. Plus, up to 4 years no interest. Don't miss the July 4th sale on now at Furniture Row.
This Tuesday only, everything in Volunteers of America thrift stores is half off. Don't miss this huge sale on thousands of items, serving the community with 2 locations. Visit your local Volunteers of America thrift store.
The July 4th sale is on now at Denver Mattress. Get Eurotop comfort at an unbelievably low price. The Sunlight Eurotop mattress is now just $299.99. Check out all the great offers today at our July 4th sale at Denver Mattress.